welcome back everybody to episode 2 of The Plague, or Omen Exitio. We're going to be seeing where we kick off. Remember in the last episode we were handed this strange note from the ship's chef telling us about how we're going to revisit this former profession of ours. And then we went on to land to enjoy some liberty, and fresh off the dock we ended up running into a thief who we gave great chase to. We tried our best to catch up to him, but eventually we just ended up falling into the water, and he escaped. Fortunately, without any money, but he did end up taking the strange note that the chef gave us earlier. So here we are, back on the boat. Liberty is done, and we're sailing out, and we'll see what this next chapter holds for us. And Smith, wake up! Everyone on their feet, quick. You open one eye, followed by the other. You feel the slow swaying of the sea and that peculiar smell of the ship. Something like unwashed bodies and acrid salt which prickles your nostrils. But it is just for a moment, and within seconds you are on your feet. It is Smith, the captain of the troop, who is yelling at you in the early morning. O'Bannon groans. He is still not up, and luckily the captain is unaware of it. The cries of Captain Smith could sink a battleship on the Rhone. Yeah, typically leaders of men in the military, especially the longer you get in, they can be a bit foreboding sometimes. Let's see. We could yell at O'Bannon to get him on his feet, or we could ignore that he is even asleep and just keep on going. Captain is unaware of it. Well, we probably better get him on his feet, because if we don't, one lesson I've learned in the military is if one person's wrong, generally everybody's wrong. So we'll just kind of get him up so we don't suffer being wrong for him being dumb later. Jake, come on, O'Bannon. Stop dreaming about whiskey bottles and get a move on. Ed, I'm awake. Your Irish friend's whiny character reminds you of a child who doesn't want to go to school. You'll be surprised how many people like that actually turn into adults, because, believe it or not, most people like to sleep. And, well, generally a lot of us like to work. We don't like to work quite that much. Alright. Ed, not even my mom was this annoying. O'Bannon mumbles some more incomprehensible words, and with considerable effort he gets on his feet, wobbling. It seems he is still drunk from last night. You better keep an eye on him to prevent him from getting a severe scolding and a flagrant punishment. Yeah, say, it's even more dangerous from him being drunk on a boat, because, everybody takes and gives sailors this rap for being, drunkards all the time, and, that's definitely true to a sense. When sailors are on leave, sailors do what sailors do. But when it comes time to being on the boat, you'd be actually surprised. Being drunk is actually a great way to falling off the boat. Boats are actually extremely loud, and if you fall off the boat, you got a small chance of being spotted. And then after a couple hours, it becomes almost difficult to impossible to find you. So, yeah, being drunk on a boat's not a great choice. You're outside, waiting for the training to start. O'Bannon is next to you, still sleepy. After weeks of travel, Smith fears you have all gone soft. Looking at the men in your row, the doubt seems to be entirely valid. You can see the disorientation and sleeplessness on their faces. The air is filled with sand, and your boots sink into the mud. The view is desolate except for some isolated shacks. Smith is explaining the details of this morning's training with a cracked, rasping voice. You're distracted by the view. The weariness from the journey makes his speech hard to follow, and you end up missing parts of it. But you are sure you are not the only one. No one can get used to this new situation due to the brevity of the captain's speech. You hesitate for a moment, but Smith breaks the silence with an unyielding, commanding shout. Smith breaks the silence with an unyielding command shouted aloud. Smith, Come on, move, ladies, until you are well awake. Alright, we've got all kinds of options now. We can lead. Put yourself at the head of the group. You want to control the pace. Get 1+ observation. You can get speechcraft by staying next to O'Bannon and trying to help him. We can get 1 medicine by following Ryan, who's running at a regular pace. You don't want to get too tired too soon. Or you can gain skill in fighting by trying to surpass all the others. You want to prove yourself. Let's go for observation. Lead. Whilst running, you try to get an impression of your comrade's physical shape. In the event of a fight, that could indeed make a difference. As far as running is concerned, they all seem fine, except for O'Bannon, whose difficulties certainly aren't due to his usual physical fitness. It's probably because he's halfway drunk still. I definitely wouldn't want to be running a long distance while inebriated. Once you arrive at boot camp, you must crawl through mud and overcome several grueling obstacles, climbing walls, barbed wire, and thick tires. This time, no one waits for Smith to start barking orders, and you all dive onto the ground for the next exercise. You take a breather to find out how O'Bannon is doing. In his current condition, you are worried he will end up sinking into the mud and suffocate. Your concerns turn out to be well-founded. You see O'Bannon trying to slip out to catch his breath. Unfortunately, he ends up lying down with his face right in the muck in the middle of the training path. Yeah, this guy doesn't look like he's really that fit for the military. O'Bannon, keep doing that and I'll put you in isolation. Good job, Vespucci Huntington. You need to work harder. Smith surely isn't generous with encouragements. You try to clean yourself up as fast as possible. Your clothes are wet and heavy, not exactly ideal for your next task. Climbing a palm tree as quickly as possible, picking a coconut, climbing back down, preferably in one piece. Let's see. We can relax. Start by breathing deeply and monitoring your heartbeat. Get 1 medicine. Captain O'Bannon is not feeling well. I ask permission to take care of him. You try to climb the palm tree using the right footings. You use your agility to reach the top as quickly as possible. Well, if we climb up this coconut tree, we can probably get ourselves hurt coming back down and falling. So maybe we can take it and get him to a medical tent and see if we can dry out on the way and probably not twist our ankle. I appreciate your comradeship, Huntington, but I want to see your coconut all the same. You nod, helping O'Bannon to sit on the ground, then carry out your task. You try not to show any annoyance or irritation towards Smith. You deliver the coconut and get back to your mate. It's time for the gun test. Smith examines you quickly with grave glances. While a soldier hands you a rifle, the task is simple. You need to hit the target. You shoot without overthinking. Before shooting, you check every part of the rifle to ensure it works perfectly. You shoot with your rifle, then encourage O'Bannon to imitate you, trying to be convincing enough. You're nervous and your hands are shaking. You try to relax before shooting. Well, I'm not really worried about the rifle. We're, talking about a military unit, so the rifle probably works quite well. And, we definitely put our neck out for O'Bannon quite a few times. So I think it's starting to get about time for him to carry himself. And we can either be shooting without overthinking, or we can just try to calm down and start shooting. And I think we're going to take this confidently. You take position, aim, and shoot, trying to be more of a machine than a man. Your shot almost hits the bullseye, less than an inch away from the center. That's what we're talking about right there. Great shot, Huntington. After the shooting range, Smith takes you to a large, flat, dusty area. In front of you, there are a series of worn-out cannons. Smith wastes no time in pairing off the men to cooperate in both maintenance and the actual use of the cannons. He probably wants to test your teamwork skill. You find yourself paired with O'Bannon, who joyfully comes to you, stumbling a bit. Alright, we can be independent and let the O'Bannon guy just be on his own. We can make him help us. I'm not sure if I want to do that. You can watch how your comrades work. You want to improve your process and achieve a good outcome. You carry out a task trying to prevent O'Bannon from helping out too much. Yeah, I definitely don't want O'Bannon to be touching any kind of gun whatsoever if I can get away with it, especially a cannon. The guy's not well put together, so we'll be independent. You let O'Bannon lean on the cannon so that he doesn't hinder you. This way he doesn't fall on the ground and still seems busy doing something. Then you manage the task by yourself, achieving a good shot. Smith is not satisfied at all, and he sharply explains your next task. It's time to try hand-to-hand combat. Naturally, you are partnered with O'Bannon. You look at your partner, assessing his state. He is still a bit dazed, but at least he is still standing and seems a little bit more aware, so you get to carry out the task. Alright, we can be defensive and try to block and dodge his attacks. Cunning, we can decide to distract him. We can attack him quickly. Or we can strike O'Bannon to stun him without hurting him too much. Well, I think this is definitely too easy of a fight for us. We'll just be responsive and try to, get him to cop out by injuring him. O'Bannon hesitates for a few moments and then starts to hit you. You exchange some blows, and then you manage to land a punch between his neck and shoulder. You've planned it well. O'Bannon falls to the ground unconscious. Victory is yours. Smith stares at you for a couple of seconds, then he mumbles something, but he seems pleased. He orders you to get started on the next task. Once again, you are to practice hand-to-hand combat, but this time your opponent is Vespucci. You look at him. He smiles. And both know he's stronger than you. Well, this makes things a bit more difficult. Alright, we can try to dodge his attacks. We can try to limit his damage by just kind of protecting ourselves. We can try to get the initiative and not give him time to attack us. Or we can analyze this and try to buy time to find a fault in his guard. Well, I don't think we're going to sit here and take a whole bunch of swings from this guy, so careful and analyze is probably not it. And counterattack, really just kind of giving us a one-hit wonder and hoping it hits for all the money. So let's go quick and just try to, if he's really strong, then we'll try to be really fast so he can't actually hit us. Maybe he'll wear himself out. Vespucci mills his mighty fists around. While you dodge them, you feel the air moving. Your enemy soon gets anxious. No matter what he does, you manage to keep your distance. Yeah, that's what it's all about. If you got somebody who's way above your weight class, probably not as quick as they want to be, you just gotta make sure you don't let them connect, because then it's gonna be all over. Ryan, I didn't know you were an eel, Huntington. As soon as he attempts one more strike, you dodge him once again and manage to imbalance him, knocking him down. And that's what it's all about. In the military, it's not about being strongest, fastest, about anything. It's about winning. Winning is the only determining factor. And whatever it takes is what winning is. As your comrade brushes the dust off his trousers, you hold out your hand with a smile. Ryan smiles back, taking your hand, and he gets up, congratulating you on the good fight. Exactly. It's not about being moral, just, or even good at what you're doing. It's about winning. Smith continues, relentlessly shouting orders. You pick up all the equipment, the backpack, and the training rifle. It seems that the captain wants you to be full of adrenaline for the combat simulation, so that you don't hold anything back. He forces you to run right through the jungle to reach your next destination. You glance at O'Bannon and notice that his arm is bleeding. This guy's always in trouble, doing something or being hurt or something. We're going to help him out this time. Because if he's bleeding and he ends up following it later, that's going to make the whole simulation a lot worse. Because, you know, we don't want anybody dying, hurt, whatever. Wait, Ed, what happened there? Points at the trace of blood on his hand. O'Bannon shrugs to minimize his injury, and you answer with a smirk, gesturing him to come towards you. Alright, we can hurry up and try to patch him and look at his injury later for greater care. You can apologize for hurting him, wash the wound, and bandage it. Let's wash the wound. Come here, Ed. As slow as you are, we will be last anyways. Bannon mumbles and smirks, but he gives you his arm. You lift his sleeve and check the wound. It's not too bad, but it may get infected here in the dirt. You clean it up with your canteen water, wrap it up with a hanky. But the training is over, you will take another look at it. When the training is over, you'll take another look at it. You and O'Bannon are the last to reach Captain Smith's prearranged spot, both panting and red-faced. You are welcomed by a barrage of insults, with Smith spits at you with equal parts saliva and venom. I think this is about the last time we're taking anything for O'Bannon, so from here on out, he's on his own. The squad moves on together, but without you, O'Bannon and Vespucci. You fell behind to deal with your friend's wound, and the half-Italian wanted to assist you. He's always ready to help. Ed is immediately taken to the headquarters in order for his wound to be sutured. You wonder whether you should follow him and perform the task yourself, or leave him in the hands of another doctor and go on with the training. No, O'Bannon's on his own. You notice two sergeants walking, so you and Vespucci move forward silently to listen in. First Sergeant, this is a very realistic battle simulation. Keep it to yourself, but I've heard that we will be soon heading into action. The political situation here is unstable. You look at Vespucci just next to you. He gravely nods. This rumor has been spreading among the men for a while. Hearing it from the officers doesn't comfort me at all. And now it's time for the last part of the training, teamwork. The troop stops near an abandoned fortress, and the two groups are ordered to get into formation. One will attack the walls, the other will handle the artillery, either bombarding the weak walls of the fort or providing cover for frontline soldiers. Well, we can attack, or we can handle the artillery. Well, we've had a lot of practice with the artillery, so I think we'll do that. The orders are clear. You have to take the fort as quickly as possible while trying to limit the enemy's counterattack. You decide which strategy to use. We can hit the same place over and over again in order to breach the walls, or we can try to cover the men who are advancing. If we're trying to limit the enemy's counterattack, you would think that, we're trying to attack as soon as possible, but you're actually trying to keep them from moving. So the more fire that's on them, the less they're going to be moving around, because who wants to be moving around when they're being shot at? These are intense moments filled with shouts, blasts, and dust. The simulated battle seems quite real. The day is now coming to an end, and the mock attack on the fort has been carried out. The men are all exhausted, including yourself. I'm proud of you all. Today you made a real effort. Tomorrow we could even go on the attack. But for now it's time to rest and refresh ourselves. The day's light has almost disappeared below the horizon when your captain brings the soldiers back together. He has an important message for all of the men. He has not yet started to talk, but he is waiting for everyone to sit down. But you can feel some serious tension filling the air. The pro-British Sultan, Hamad bin Fuwaini, ruler of Zanzibar, died on the day of your arrival on this island, and Khalid, the illegitimate ruler, has since taken his place. An ultimatum has been sent to Khalid requesting that he abdicate peacefully. That ultimatum will expire tomorrow morning. Sounds like there's going to be a bit of a struggle here. An ultimatum has been... Yes, okay. Alright, so I think up here we have some options we can look at, so let's take a look at that real quick. So you got a map of Zanzibar. Doesn't look like there's anything we can click or see or anything yet. Interesting looking magnifying glass. And the story, which is what we've just been reading. Okay, we've got notes. We have nothing in our inventory or our diary. Okay, so we have some information on some characters. So Captain Smith. Strict but fair, Smith is an excellent captain. He has great strategic skills and knows very well the capabilities of men under his command, taking full advantage of their potential. Right, and then Ryan Vespucci, assistant cook of Italian origin. He's your cabin mate. Available, funny, and with a great sense of duty, he's always ready to give you a hand. Or I guess really weird notes that get stolen by thieves. And Ed O'Bannon, an Irish lad just over 16 years old. Blonde hair, skinny, tends to become troublesome when he hits the bottle, which he loves to do, but is a trusted companion. Yeah, it sounds like this guy is definitely up to some problems because 16 years old, he should not be drinking. You know, in the United States Navy anyways, even if you've joined the military, you still have to wait till the legal age, which is 21 to drink. Sometimes you might get away with that as being 18 if you're in the middle of another country that has different rules and laws than the United States, but still, it's kind of a case-by-case basis and a great way to get in trouble. Nothing on achievements, settings, character sheet. Okay, so I guess my name again is Jake Huntington. We were born on the 12th of July, 1867, so this is quite a while ago, so I guess 16-year-olds were definitely in the military then. Alright, we're from London, so we're British. And, from London, 75 Globe Road. We are healthy, male, 5'11", 5'11", 6 inches. I'm not exactly sure what that means. We are 12 stone. Oh, okay. No, 5'11". Yeah, I still don't get that. Alright, 12 stone or 18, 1 and 8 pounds. Okay, well, this is a little bit strange here for the height weight. Not sure exactly how to interpret that. We got light brown hair, brown eyes, and a light skin tone. We are a medical researcher, and we are a widower, so that's interesting. Alright, so we got... Alright, fighting. Fighting helps you face your enemies. It includes unarmed combat and the ability to use firearms. We got a skill of 2. Observation allows you to notice details that are normally ignored by most people. It can help you find useful clues. Medicine is useful for treating your companions and yourself, but it can also be used offensively. If you know where to hit to do more harm, you do not need brute force. It looks like it's kind of like a critical damage, like cunning for like traditional role-playing games. Agility helps you jump, run, and dodge enemy hits. It allows you to take advantage of speed in combat rather than force, but also to escape quickly if necessary. Speechcraft allows you to persuade and intimidate those in front of you, obtaining information or manipulating their actions. Words at time are much more effective than any weapon. So increasing that costs 20 experience. 20, 20, 20, and 30. Alright, so I got 10 experience, and I can't move any of those up, so let's go back to the story. Alright, and I think that's it. So here we are, the end of episode 2 for the Plague. So again, thanks for sitting along with me as I read through this. We'll come back here soon, and we'll get on to episode 3, and we'll be figuring out what's going on the next day after we have completed our combat training. Thanks again for everybody listening in with me, and I hope you guys all have a great afternoon. Take it easy.